The Second Amendment. It's more than just words etched in an old document. It's a living testament to the foresight of our founding fathers. It's the bedrock of American freedom, a line in the sand drawn by our founding fathers. A declaration that the power lies with the people. A clear message to the government, this far and no further. They debated, they argued, and they ultimately agreed on the importance of enumerating this right into the Constitution. Today, that message is more important than ever. In a world where freedoms are constantly under threat, the Second Amendment stands as a guardian. The Second Amendment ensures our individual liberty. It allows families to feel secure, knowing they have the means to protect themselves. It's about trusting the American people, not the government, with the means to defend themselves. It's a trust that has been passed down through generations. The Second Amendment is under attack like never before. Every day there are new challenges and new threats to this fundamental right. The radical left wants to strip you of your rights, leaving you defenseless against an ever-oppressive government. They push for laws that would weaken our ability to protect ourselves. They fear a well-armed citizenry because it means a free citizenry. A well-armed populace is a check against tyranny and oppression. They want compliance, not courage. They want to dictate how we live, but we must stand firm. But we will not comply. We will not bow down to unconstitutional laws or regulations that strip us of our rights. We will not be disarmed. We will continue to exercise our rights responsibly and with determination. We will stand our ground. Together, we are stronger, and together, we will defend our freedoms. The Second Amendment isn't just about guns, it's about power. The power to resist, the power to protect, and the power to ensure our voices are heard. The power of the individual to stand up to tyranny in all its forms. It's a reminder that we are the ultimate guardians of our own freedom. It's the ultimate check and balance against a government that has grown too powerful. A safeguard that ensures no one entity can dominate the people. It's the difference between a free nation and a subjugated one, a nation where the people have the final say. We have a right, a duty to protect this freedom. It's a responsibility that we must take seriously. Our founding fathers understood this. They knew that freedom is fragile and must be defended. They knew the dangers of an overreaching government. They had experienced it firsthand and wanted to ensure future generations would not suffer the same fate. And they ensured we have the tools to fight back. The Second Amendment is not just a right, it's a legacy of freedom, courage, and resilience. What did the Founding Fathers mean by arms? This question has sparked countless debates and discussions over the years. Did they just mean muskets and cannons? Or was their vision broader, encompassing the evolution of weaponry over time? Of course not. They meant any and all weapons necessary to defend oneself and one's liberty. The essence of the Second Amendment is timeless, transcending the specific technologies of any given era. The Second Amendment wasn't written to freeze us in time. It was a forward-thinking provision, designed to adapt to the changing landscape of defense and security. It was written to protect our right to self-defense with whatever tools are available. Whether it's a musket from the 18th century or a modern, fully automatic rifle, the principle remains the same. The Second Amendment covers it all: handguns, rifles, shotguns, semi-automatic rifles, and fully auto weapons, high-capacity magazines. Each of these tools serves a purpose in ensuring our safety and freedom. Anything a tyrannical government might use against its people, the people have a right to possess. This balance of power is crucial in maintaining a free society, because when the government fears the people, there is liberty. This fear acts as a check against potential overreach and abuse of power. When the people fear the government, there is tyranny. History has shown us time and again that disarmed populations are vulnerable to oppression. Just look to Stalin's Russia or Mao's China for examples. Citizens disarmed and tens of millions dead. They say, you don't need an AR-15 to hunt deer. And they're right. The purpose of such firearms extends far beyond hunting. They're right. You need an AR-15 to defend your family from a tyrannical government. It's about having the means to protect against any threat, foreign or domestic. The Second Amendment isn't about hunting, it's about deterrence. It's about ensuring that the government respects the rights and freedoms of its citizens. It's about making sure that the government thinks twice before trying to take away our freedoms. A well-armed populace is a powerful deterrent against tyranny. The left wants you disarmed, divided, and afraid. They believe that a disarmed population is easier to control and manipulate. They want you dependent on the government for your safety, but we know better. We understand that true security comes from being prepared and self-reliant. We know that the only true security comes from self-reliance, from being able to protect ourselves and our loved ones without having to rely on external forces, from the ability to defend ourselves, our families, and our freedoms. This is the core of the Second Amendment, a principle that remains as relevant today as it was centuries ago. Don't take my word for it. Let's hear from the Founding Fathers themselves. Thomas Jefferson, the author of the Declaration of Independence, said, "No free man shall ever be debarred the use of arms." He understood that a well-armed citizenry is the best defense against tyranny. James Madison, the father of the Constitution, echoed this sentiment, writing, "The right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed." These weren't just suggestions. They were warnings etched into the very fabric of our nation. And then there was Samuel Adams, the firebrand of the Revolution, who said the Constitution means that the right of the citizens to bear arms shall never be infringed upon. These men understood the stakes. They had stared down the barrel of British tyranny, and they vowed to never let it happen again on American soil. Their words are as relevant today as they were then. They are a stark reminder that the right to bear arms is not negotiable. It is the cornerstone of our republic, the foundation upon which all other freedoms rest. The Second Amendment is about more than just self-defense. It's a fundamental principle that goes beyond the mere act of protecting oneself from immediate harm. It's about the right to defend yourself against any threat, foreign or domestic. This includes not only personal threats, but also those that could jeopardize the safety and freedom of the community and the nation as a whole. And yes, that includes the threat of a tyrannical government. The very essence of the Second Amendment is rooted in the historical context of the American Revolution, where citizens took up arms to fight against oppression. The Founding Fathers understood this. They had first-hand experience with tyranny and knew the importance of being able to resist it. They knew that power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. This timeless adage guided their thinking as they crafted the Constitution. They knew that the best way to prevent tyranny was to ensure that the people had the means to resist it. This wasn't just theoretical. It was a practical measure to safeguard liberty. That's why they enshrined the right to bear arms in the Constitution. It was a deliberate and thoughtful inclusion, meant to empower citizens. It's not a relic of the past. The principles behind the Second Amendment are as relevant today as they were centuries ago. It's a safeguard for the future. In a world where threats can come from various directions, the ability to defend oneself and one's community remains crucial. The left mocks the idea of an armed citizenry overthrowing a tyrannical government. They often dismiss it as an outdated or extreme notion. They call it paranoid, delusional. But history has shown us that governments can and do turn against their people. But I ask you, what's more paranoid? Is it more paranoid to believe that your government could never turn against you, or to be prepared just in case it does? History is replete with examples of governments that have oppressed their citizens. The Second Amendment is a constant reminder to the government that their power is not absolute. It serves as a check on governmental overreach, that the people are the ultimate source of authority. In our society, the power lies with the people, and the Second Amendment reinforces this principle. It's a line in the sand that says, "We will not be ruled by force." It is a declaration of the people's resolve to maintain their freedoms. We will defend our freedoms, whatever the cost. This enduring commitment to liberty is what makes the Second Amendment a vital part of our national identity. Stay frosty, my friends. Keep your head down and you powder dry.